What's up, Totem Pole Nation? Welcome back to Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. Today we're getting into the transfer portal a little bit because since the departure of Nick Saban from Alabama, sad day for, I think, all college football fans, the new coach, it's not all his fault. A lot of these kids went to Bama to play for Saban, and now they're losing transfers left and right. So many players have gone into the portal since the announcement of the retiring of Nick Saban. So we'll get into that. We'll go into more details, and we'll give our thoughts and feelings on it all. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to Sideline Sports Network, and make sure to visit TotemPoleNation.com, which is in the ticker, to get some gear like that hat right there. We've got hoodies, T-shirts, long sleeve shirts, bags, cups. We've got all you need, all right? Go there, support the boys. Let's get into this.
Oh, the University of Alabama football. Alabama football started with Nick Saban back in 2007, and he retired surprisingly. After the loss to Michigan, we thought we'd see Nick Saban one more time, and turned out that he retired on January 10th, which, it's not. It was shocking to America. We didn't expect an early retirement. But he did mention every day he was sort of, stressed, burned out, but it's okay. He retired on top. Basically, not on top to win a championship, but, he did what he could. But Kalen Deboer, an NAIA coach, he's from Sioux Falls. He has a great record. I mean, he turned around Washington for 2 seasons. They went to the national championship, and they lost to Michigan. But see, what I said about Kalen Deboer, it's a great coach, not question. But what I said when I brought Hayden Bozard, the UVA assistant recruit, what I said is that I think he's great, but Washington didn't have a defense. So what's Alabama's identity going to be when it comes to, Kalen Deboer? Offense. They struggled on offense a little bit this season. They improved. The offensive line was probably the worst we've seen in Nick Saban's career. They weren't a great offensive line team. The quarterback was up and down. He improved. I think he'll turn Jalen Moore around just fine. It's not the issue. But the Nick Saban identity was to, the Bill Belichick identity. Don't beat yourselves. The defense. The defense of Alabama, you might be seeing them getting an average of 30 points a game like they did in the Pac-12. Now, I understand the Pac-12 is a different conference than the SEC. The SEC brings out NFL guys. Some Pac-12 guys come from NFL too. But see, the SEC, when you're playing against LSU, when you're playing against Ole Miss, you got Texas now in the SEC. You got Oklahoma in the SEC now. So when it comes to him, it's nothing bad about him. But everybody wants to play him for Alabama because of who? Nick Saban. Nick Saban. So they lost, I think, a total of maybe 20-plus guys. The main guy, when we first started recruiting video, is Julian Sayin, transferred from Alabama to Ohio State. That's tough because he wanted to play for Nick Saban. They also lost Isaiah Bond. He went to play for Steve Sarkisian, a former, Nick Saban assistant. Sean Murphy is gone. He transferred to a new school. He's going to commit to Florida State. He's a redshirt freshman. Desmond Ricks went to A&M. Antonio Kite went to Auburn. Trey Amos went to Ole Miss. Amari Nickback went to Texas. Caleb Downs, a guy that played great this season, went to Ohio State. Caleb Proctor, Iowa. Jameer Grimsley, Florida. Julian Sayin, that I just said, Ohio State. I mean, this guy was just practicing for Alabama a couple weeks ago, and now he's going to Ohio State. What's going on in this transfer? Well, I understand the transfer portal does not have any structure. I understand that. But I'm not saying it's a personal thing, but it's like, wow. You're losing. I understand Kalen DeBoer is probably getting some recruits, but I'm like, damn, you're losing these top guys. Most of these top guys are going to the Texas because of Steve Sarkisian. He was under under Nick Saban, and Lane Kiffin because he was under Nick Saban. So they're going to a Nick Saban, alike type thing. So, what are your thoughts on this, and how good would Alabama be this season?
Well, I mean, it sucks for Kalen, right? Because he's got to replace the GOAT. You can't go in there and just follow up the greatest college football coach of all time. Whoever took this job, I don't think there's a coach in the country that if they took this job, there wouldn't be 10 plus guys leaving in the portal anyways. Since the announcement, 24/7 has it at 13 guys, and there were already guys leaving before that. So who knows when he told the team and everything, but he's just in, obviously he's the head coach of Alabama, right? So he's not in a bad spot. Kids are going to still see Alabama, and maybe not to the same extent, but they're still going to respect it as an NFL factory, right?
Yes.
Anybody that took that job, that's going to go down a little bit. So it doesn't he's in a great spot for anyone that's in the coaching profession. What's up, man? But he's not in the very great spot for, mental health or what you're going to get called every week if you lose one game. Think about if they go out and with all these guys that are leaving, top end talent at every position is leaving, and maybe they go 9-3 and win a bowl game and they're 10-3. They're going to be calling for this guy's head. They're going to want him out.
They already called for this guy in this press conference. They said, we'll give you 3 games. He laughed. We'll give you 3 games and then see if you're made. 3 games. But Washington went down there 14-0, and went to the national championship. So
yeah. And most of the I shouldn't say most, but there's a good amount of that Washington team that he got through the transfer portal as well. Maybe not all at once like it was with Dion, but he was there for 3 total years or 2?
I think it was 2.
Okay. Well,
I think they had a mediocre season, and then he took to the national championship.
He brought in Penix as soon as he got there.
Yes.
He's not incapable of bringing in talented guys through the portal, right? Yes. It's already a huge spotlight because it's Alabama. You have to follow up the GOAT, and all these guys are leaving, not from his fault, but because they wanted to play for the GOAT. It's just going to be super hard on him. But I don't think that this is something that we look at and we go what's happening with Kalen? Because I don't think any of this really has to do with him.
So when it comes to Alabama, like you said, I don't think they'll be the same. No, we're not Bills fans. I'm a Patriots fan. He's a Cowboys fan.
I'm a Cowboys fan. But Adrenaline Junkie TV, we did just do our reaction video to that, gave our takes on that game, more on the Chiefs, so maybe not, exactly what you'd want to watch, but it's in our YouTube 2 videos back. So if you wanted to watch that, something more about the Bills, go for it.
So I think the question is, how do I see Alabama? I don't see them the same, just, defensively. Alabama's always been, defensively a great team. Alabama, I wouldn't say they never had a bad defense. They gave up points, but they're kind of like the Kirby Smart, Kirby Smart type team, defense, they score on offense, great type of things as well. I don't know if I'll ever see Alabama football the same. Now, I'm not, ungrateful. I'm glad what Nick Saban is accomplished with 44 first-round picks from multiple players over the past couple of seasons. I mean, that would never be broken. I don't think anybody, unless Kirby Smart coaches till he's 80 years old, I don't think that would ever be broken. But I'm not surprised that all these guys have transferred. Maybe there's certain guys, especially when I talk about what's his name, Julian Sands, just because he already started classes at Alabama. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to play for Nick Saban. I'm going to go transfer to, Ohio State, Ryan Day. The offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
Who was good at Bama, though. That I think, college just might be where he
I guess he's better at college.
Yeah.
Look, we did at Penn State. I guess he's just better at college.
They won the Natty with Bill O'Brien as the OC.
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
No. No,
Wasn't it that wasn't the
no.
Oh,
Bill
was he with
O'Brien,
Bryce?
not with Bryce. That was with Mac Jones. He wasn't there. He that year. Bill O'Brien was fired as the Texans coach. That was 2020. He was fired after he went 0-4.
Gotcha.
So it was somebody else.
Yeah.
It might have been Sarkisian that year.
Oh wait, isn't he the guy he's like the only man who's coached like multiple seasons with both Saban and Belichick, and he's never won a ring?
Might be.
I think that's him. That sucks.
Might be. But I mean, out of the Belichick tree, if you want to talk about it, Bill O'Brien's been a successful head coach. Out of the Belichick tree, he took the Texans to the playoffs. But like I said, the guys you're losing to, they're going to transfer Ohio State, Texas. So, do you think that is Alabama still that standard, or are we saying Georgia is the standard now? Like, who's the standard in college football in 2024? Is it going to be Alabama or is it going to be Georgia?
Well, I think right now it's Michigan, right?
Yes, but what if Jim Harbaugh leaves? Then what? Will they be the same team?
Yeah.
I mean, they gotta find. They gotta. If he doesn't stay, they gotta find a coach.
Then I think it would still have to be Georgia then, because I mean they're the closest when it comes to Bama and NFL production of the past like 10 years, and then obviously Kirby is Kirby. Like they're producing monsters just as much as Bama is at this point. So I think it would have to, if it's not going to be Bama, which I agree, all this top talent leaving, it can't be Bama at this point. I think it's Georgia.
So are we wrong just yet, or is it too early, or should we panic about Alabama? Like how should we feel about this? It's very, very early. It's January.
Yeah.
Signing day is until
real
February
quick,
7th or 11th. So go ahead.
We got there's I said Barstool. There are Totem Pole Nation interns that are doing the shorts for us. So shout out to them. Glad that you like it. Do I think we should panic about Bama? No, because I think that's exactly what all the Bama fans are doing now. And they're going to have this guy's head on a platter in 3 weeks if he loses one game, or if they go 9-3 and win a bowl game and they're 10-3. Like, for a first-year head coach, that should be good enough.
That's better than 10-3 is better than 6-6 or 3-8.
Right. I think any other school, that would be a fine first season. But this is Alabama. So, I think he'll do okay. I don't think that we need to panic, but I do think that the general consensus around how well he does is going to be viewed in such a harsh manner because you're following up the GOAT. Like, Gerard Mayo better be good within a few years up in New England, right? Like, you're following up Bill Belichick.
I don't think he'll
impossible.
Be Belichick. That's
what I mean. And nobody can be Nick Saban either. Like, it's impossible to follow these guys up. So, do I think that he'll be okay? Yeah, he'll be fine. Like, maybe not. We think of them as a top 4 team every single year, but 12-team playoff now.
They'll be top 10.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll be dropping out of the top 12. I think they'll still be in the playoffs. So it's not time to panic, but I know everyone's going to if they see the slightest hiccup in, progress on that team.
Remember what Nick Saban said. See, don't feed into that rat poison now.
Yeah.
I hope y'all don't forget y'all lesson, Alabama. Don't feed into that rat poison. To give Kalen Deboer some time. He's won everywhere he's been. He took a Washington team that was not even known in the Pac-12, and then they went to the national championship. Nobody picked Washington to go to a national championship. I did pick them to beat Texas, but let's just give him a couple weeks before National Signing Day and see what he's capable of. I think Alabama will be just fine.
When he brought two guys from Washington with him.
Yes, so I think he'll be fine. I just said defensively, I don't think they'll be the same identity. I might be wrong. I hope I won't want to be wrong. But Kalen Deboer is an offensive genius. Nick Saban is a defensive genius with a great offensive assistance. So it's a different thing. You don't look at Alabama the same now that you did with Nick Saban. It's all about scheme. Kalen Deboer scores a lot of points, and Washington didn't have a damn defense for shit. Half the Pac-12 didn't have a defense except fucking Oregon. Oregon had a defense because Dan Lanning was behind Kirby Smart at Georgia. So they have a defensive identity with good offensive assistance. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to hate on the man. I mean, I like Alabama, but here's the thing. College football will be different if Alabama isn't in it. It will be more competitive. We've seen that this year. So Michigan will probably still be the top dogs if Jim Harbaugh just stays or goes. And then Ohio State could get better. You know, stealing some guys from Alabama. Like I said, we'll see what happens. But this is Lambo and Bats for the Sports. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Total Pro Nation. And we want to thank Silence Sports Network for the platform. Like I said, we'll catch you in the next episode. Alabama fans, please don't panic just yet.